All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi guys, welcome to the webinar. We're going to start in a couple minutes. This is just kind of like the 2-minute warning, so if you need to get a coffee, tea, or a cookie, now would be the time to do so, and we'll get started shortly. To confirm, you guys can hear me, right? If you can, if you could just type a quick yes in the questions box, that would be very helpful for me. Hi guys, just to confirm, can you guys hear me? If you can you please put a yes in the questions box? Amazing. All right, so without further ado, why not get started? Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about making your business more profitable with payroll. I'm not alone today. I'm with my good friend, Dustin. Everyone knows Dustin, right? Say hi, Dustin.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Everyone says good. It's like they can't really, So, we're going to be just talking today. We're not going to go into a demo. I know a lot of you guys have seen a lot of Payment Evolution demos in the past. If you would like one, or if you want to watch a video or want to show one of your clients, we do have those available. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end. A little bit of housekeeping. If you guys have any questions, throw them into the questions box at literally any time. We do not mind. We are more than happy to answer them as we go. There's both of us in the questions box when the other one's talking, so we'll be happy to answer them. We're gonna try not to take up a lot of your time today, but we do have some great content ahead of us today. So yeah, sit back, relax, and again, if you have any questions, throw them in. So we're going to start today off with asking you what your purpose is, specifically to your business. So what's your purpose? Do you want to see some growth? Are you out there to really make a difference in the lives of your clients and helping them grow their company? What is your purpose? Maybe just take a minute to think about it, write it down, whatever you'd like. So the title of this webinar is Growing Your Business with Payroll. So why payroll? And the fact is something that I repeat probably every time you see me present, every time you see me in a webinar, every time you just hear my voice. Every business needs it. Every business. So the thing is that it has to be done properly. And there's, I almost want to say there's just such a big market for it, because good chances that a lot of your clients are not running payroll properly, because as again, I always mention, they probably didn't get any schooling on running payroll. So it's just something that they don't have, knowledge that they may not have and not understand. And, whenever there are errors, they come back to you and you guys are the ones fixing these problems, and it's costing you time and money, and it's all so avoidable, especially when you're thinking about the long term and the longevity of that business. They're going to need reporting. They could get an audit in 3 years. You don't know that. You want to make sure that everything is located in one spot. Not only that, but it helps the employees. So when it comes to paying them directly, when it comes to pay slips, that's all available in the payroll software. Again, I know you guys have probably seen or heard of Payment Evolution or are current users, so you understand that, running this payroll within the system, the employees do get their pay slips sent to them electronically. If they're terminated or if they choose to quit, the employees do have access to their historical data, which again makes their life so much easier. As the employer, you can pay employees directly, so no more cutting checks, no more losing checks, no more issuing checks, no more getting asked about checks. It's all in their bank account directly. And once again, it's accessible anytime, anywhere. So even if you're not available to run, the payroll, you're not in the office, that's okay. Get on your tablet, get on your phone, get on your laptop, and run the payroll. It's not just yourself that has to run the payroll. You can give the client access to that as well, just overall making your life a little easier. So that's my little payroll spiel off the start. And I'm going to go pass this on to Dustin, because Dustin's the cloud master. So we're going to talk about why just simply moving into the cloud. In case you were at our last demo, we had our last webinar, we had a whole spiel on this, but he's just going to break it down into, one slide for you guys.
Yeah, so cloud software kind of is one of those things where people need to realize that it's a lot safer than it was 10 years ago, right? The cloud has been a buzzword probably for the better part of a decade, and as people become more and more financially aware of their surroundings. This is clients, this is yourself, this is businesses in general. They're looking for something more secure and a little bit more accessible, and so you're looking at cloud software kind of you're seeing it have a huge spike. It's more conventional than regular storage because you have multiple redundancies, and you'll be able to actually recoup your information from at the instance that it was last saved, just in case something happened, knock on wood, there was a hurricane or there was something bad happening like that. We don't want anything like that to happen. But, in the event of something weird, where you could lose it, let's say on a hard drive, you have the accessibility of getting it all through the cloud software tools that you're using. Again, they use many types of backups, and the specific Payment Evolution has all its data here in Canada, so we're not sending that information, across the border or anywhere else, but it's all kind of maintained within Canadian backup centers, and it's a great way. Cloud software is a great way to mitigate virus or any malware, issues. The great thing here about the virus protection that is offered many times is that the upgrades that happen very, very often with cloud software allows you guys to remain compliant. Not only that, but also remain nice and safe, because as many people know, and this is something that sometimes we don't do even with our cell phones, we always recommend people doing the updating of their software, because with the updating of software comes a lot of great protection. And so it's really important for you to realize that if you're one of those people that don't like to update your software and you don't do it for a long time, it's important to start doing so. And sometimes we know that it comes at the most inconsistent times or the most inconvenient times, but having cloud software allows all that happen in the background, so it's never really hurting you, or taking up your time when you really need it. And as well as that, data recovery, like we mentioned, being a very big option. A very great point here that people can use when using cloud software. You're always going to be able to get your information back. There's multiple redundancies, so that you have the ability of getting it for multiple different ways. It might be smart as well, aside from having a couple of different hard drives and in your main unit that you're using, your main, let's say, PC or Mac or computer. There's going to be Dropbox, right? There's going to be, in general, share file. There's going to be a ton of different options out there that allow you to actually be safe and compliant and take your information anywhere. And this is great stuff, because as we grow in the ability of you being in the cloud, one of the things that people really like is the ability of accessibility, and also how much it actually helps you with collaboration when you bring your clients to the cloud. So collaboration is, again, another key option why you want to think about cloud software. We talk about this quite a bit because, believe it or not, a lot of the accounting professionals out there, although they're very, very tech savvy, there's still a large percentage of us that are still on desktop software, which is not a problem. It's great for different reasons, but we need people to understand that with the movement of being more consultative and becoming more collaborative with our clients, cloud software really allows you to do a lot of that stuff.
So when it comes to payroll, and just growing your business as a whole, time management is a very big issue that comes up a lot, especially when we speak to accountants and bookkeepers. Reason for that being is that your time is money. You guys, good chance is a lot of people do bill hourly. Even with value billing, you want to get the most work completed in minimum amount of time because that's where your profit margins lie. So the great thing about having payroll and reporting attached to your accounting software is because you have everything in one centralized location. Again, this helps in the future should there be any errors or looking for the reporting or, business growth, you need some additional data. Easy to find. It's all in one spot. When you have it attached to an accounting software, your payroll, that is, again, that allows you to have your payroll GL in one centralized location coming from the payroll add-on into your accounting software. This makes your tax season just the biggest breeze as well. I don't know how much time you guys spent on individual T4s. If you guys want to throw it into the questions box or write it down, a lot of people spend quite a bit of time manually issuing T4s for their clients' employees. With a payroll software, they are actually generated for you for the whole company in under 5 minutes. So if I heard a few people bill per T4 or per time, 5 minutes to have, let's say, we're going to work on 10 employees for 10 clients today. That's kind of going to be our number, the number 10. So let's say you have a client with 10 employees and you can issue 10 T4s, in under 5 minutes. How much time is that saving you and how much profit is that making you in the long run? I mentioned this a lot. Companies, especially smaller businesses, when they make those errors, they're prone to audits through the CRA. When it comes to going through those shoe boxes of, receipts and bills and, all that not so fun stuff, we're going to call it today, having everything in that one, again, centralized location makes it so much easier for you as the accountant that has to go back in and complete that audit that, they're coming to help kind of save their business. I'm not sure. Actually, I know Dustin has a question he's kind of trying to throw out here.
Yeah, I think about time management, and I think about maybe we can get some engagement here from some of our from some of our attendees here. Number one, what accounting software are you using? I'd love to know that because I know that we talked about that here and how the payroll software or payroll, application, your payment evolution can help out and make your, T4 time a breeze. I would love to know what accounting software you guys are using. Number one, maybe you guys can throw it up in the question section there. And I actually have a second question too, which is think about for a second the amount of time that we need to, how much effort we need to put into our time management. And so what's your average per hour rate? You can, for those of you who want to share, please let us know. I know that we've heard everything from, $50 an hour to upwards, so over $100 an hour, depending on scenario. And I'd love to know what the average rate you see going for yourself for your time, because that's going to be playing quite a big role here when you think about the time management that you provide. So great, we have a couple of people saying, oh, QuickBooks seems to be something, so good. I wonder if that's QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online. I imagine online. I'm hoping so. And then another one says we're using Xero for the majority of clients, and then we have a few as well on QBO. Well, that's great to hear. That's awesome. So we're using it seems like we're using a couple of different softwares. We're seeing that trend happen more and more where people became very specific with the type of accounting software they were using. And now people are becoming a little bit more agnostic. They're seeing how they can, increase the mastery of multiple tools as opposed to just one. So that's awesome. Again, the second question was, what's your average, per hour rate that you guys think about? And again, if you want to share it, great, no problem. If you don't, keep it in mind, because again, it'll be something that'll be brought up in the next little bit when we talk about kind of finding some solutions for you.
A lot of people don't spend much time thinking about the marketing aspect of their business and what having these offerings, whether it's on their website, on social media, or just through their clients, can mean to them. So when you have that constant contact with your clients, you build a relationship second to none. I know that we kind of try to keep up as much as we can with our clients, just to have that communication, just to build that bond, just to really understand their needs. And that's how we get a lot of our business, through recommendations. And those mean more than anything, actually, because if someone trusts us or the program or even our support, they might not even like the program as much, but they'll be like, well, I just really like you. You help me so much. And that's enough for some people because it'll get them through. So it builds that relationship because, if you have biweekly employees, or if your client has biweekly employees, they have to communicate with you, whether it's via email, there's a phone call, that contact is created. It gives that satisfaction that the customer is looking for, because if the relationship is yearly, sometimes monthly, a distance is there. You're kind of just their accountant or bookkeeper. That relationship is worth its weight in gold. Again, that also builds a relationship between the client and their employees. So when they have that feature that kind of just seems not just forward, but kind of with them in mind, like payroll, so paying them directly, those electronic pay slips, that communication is always there. And, as it says over there, happy staff equals a happy client. Happy client means reoccurring business, probably longevity in business between yourself and that client, and word of mouth buzz.
So let's talk a little bit more about the financial value of your business. So, I think one of the things many people have come to understand is that creating a subscription-based model, whether it be through a value-price billing or value-based pricing for your clients, is something that's fantastic. Why? Because it allows you to put in efforts with ideally the right amount of time for the most amount of revenue for the service that you're providing because of the value that you bring to your clients. So, Payroll does a really great thing for most accounting professionals. So many of the proactive accounting professionals, some of our more profitable partners, are using Payroll as an additional offering because many times they're doing bookkeeping or simple advisory or maybe even getting into complex advisory. But what's happening is many times those different models are still providing Payroll as a solution for them. Using a tool and any cloud accounting solution out there is going to allow you to avoid errors. It's going to allow you to remain compliant. So you're going to avoid audits. And the great thing about it is that you don't want, a peer report coming in from the CRA. It's just annoying, even though you have everything in order. It just gets annoying sometimes. And aside from it being annoying, it takes up some of your valuable time, which many times is impromptu, right? It's spontaneous. It's not something that you've planned. And so, again, when we talk about time management, tying it back there, it really is important for you to become profitable by being able to be proactive and avoid a lot of these errors or a lot of these, issues and remain compliant. So there isn't anything kind of a surprise coming up. Again, it helps you promote growth. Why does it help you promote growth? Well, it's simple. As you know, most in the tech scene and most SaaS companies, especially in the fintech community, whether you be an accounting software like QuickBooks or let's say a company like Intuit or Xero or others, what ends up happening is that many times they're looking to have a subscription-based model where they can, if they want to grow their business and eventually maybe get acquired or sell, or maybe they're looking to exit their business and their practice, many accounting professionals have the ability to grow their financial value of their business by adding subscription-based services and services like that are billed at on a monthly recurring level, like a monthly recurring revenue. And it helps them bring in new and different types of clients because of the amount of referrals that you bring to that get brought to the table. Remember that building relationships, they have to like you, they have to, trust you, and you have to provide value to them. And so one of the things that you're able to do as you kind of build a really great relationship is get a ton of referrals. Those referrals, of course, are the fruits of your labor that come from you doing your, the great, awesome work that you do for your clients. But remember that there should be some time where you guys are looking for new clients by providing a couple of solutions that the average person is not, the average business is not, or the average accounting professional is not doing. So what are some of those things? Think about that for a second. Of course, we're a payroll company, and of course, we're going to, promote, Payment Evolution or the payroll software. Many times people neglect the payroll side when all of your clients really need it. Actually, there's a statistic I was reading actually from the 2008 Zero review that they did, 2018 Zero review. And one of the things that they talked about is that some of the research that they did is that across all different types of models for accounting professionals, at the very least, 85% of their clients needed payroll. And this is super, super great if you think about this, because you have, on average, 85% of your client base that is in need of a tool like this. Think to yourself, is this something that you're providing for that percentage of your base of your clients? And depending if you have a very niche specific type of business model where you're helping specific types of businesses, maybe it'll be 100%. But we'll talk a little bit more about that as we kind of get into the more specifics of some solutions later on. Remember, you always want to increase the value of your business, whether your business is in the startup phase, the growth phase, capital raising, acquisition phase, or in the exit phase. There's going to be a lot of value being brought to you as long as you're able to bring, some recurring revenue for yourself and your business. Sometimes, believe it or not, you're as opposed to selling privately, if you get acquired, let's say by one of the major consulting groups out there, let's say whether it be a Deloitte or someone else, like another consulting company out there, like one of the big four, big five, you can actually sell more than 2.5 times your lifetime value. It might even be 4 or 5 times, because we're talking about recurring revenue that could be really beneficial. And then the great thing is that you'll have clients that'll be, the lifetime value will increase because of the actual work that you've done and the referrals that you get and the recommendations you get from other clients.
So we know you like numbers, so we've put together some numbers for you guys. So again, we're going to play kind of with the 10 employees among 10 clients. Everyone's on a biweekly payroll, and pardon me, and are on checks, and you remit their source deductions to the CRA. So I'm going to pass this back over to Dustin, because played with some math.
Yeah, so the average cloud provider, if we take in consideration what we talked about, let's go back to that last slide if you don't mind. I just want to do a quick talk here. Again, like Kinga said, bang on. You have, let's assume that you have 10 payroll clients, right? Your clients have 10 employees each, and they're all on a biweekly pay run, because 95% of the time, that's actually the most common pay cycle that's out there. And let's say they're on checks. They're not even on direct deposits yet, and we remit to the source deduction, and you remit the source deductions for the client for whatever reason it may be, whether they have a cash flow issue or they prefer to, just wait till the last moment and you can take care of it for them. Not a problem. Assume this is the scenario. So if that's the scenario, the average cloud payroll provider is going to provide a couple things. Number one, they're going to provide most likely a 3-day lead time for you. And the cost on average is going to be, for the operational cost for payroll, is going to be about $85 per month. And what that breaks down to, just to give you an idea, and you'll probably know a lot of the competitors out there in the landscape, it's obviously on average $20 per pay run, plus $2 per employee per pay run as well. Number three, you're going to have some generic support capabilities. We see that because we know we have a payroll matrix that we're a part of, that we did for a payroll head-to-head that happened a couple weeks ago, and we know that many of the providers out there, payroll providers, will provide things like email support, or chat. And then number four, many of them will actually integrate with 1 or 2 accounting software. So why 1 or 2? Well, some of the ones QuickBooks Online, for example, or QuickBooks Desktop, or Xero, for example. So I think it's important for you to realize that those are kind of the popular ones, but there are others. So if we take in consideration what's happening right now, with Payment Evolution, the accounting bookkeeper fees are $10 a month per client. They're not $10 per pay run. And then on top of that, there is a $1.50 per employee per pay run cost. And believe it or not, that actually includes direct deposits and remittance fees. So I know that we assumed right now that clients are writing checks. No problem. If you still want to write those checks, print them out, you can still do them. But it's going to be really streamlined. It's going to be a great way for you to say, hey, you're off, with Payment Evolution, for example, it's included. We can make things more automated. And again, you can bring back that time that you're spending on doing all these things that are not scalable, maybe that you're doing with 2 or 3 clients, and you'll be able to do it for 10, 20, 30 clients later on, a lot more easier and a lot more automatedly. So there is, of course, a couple other fees that are included in there. As you're seeing, there's a one-time $55 application fee for per source account for the activation of the pad. And then on top of that, we also are able to do vendor payments at $1.50 per payment for batch business payments. So there's a couple of options here for you, very streamlined pricing, and there is a minimum of 3 clients. But I'm glad to say that if you think about it, currently right now, if we're thinking about streamlining things, you've picked an accounting software that you're actually working really well with. Are you doing the same with your payroll applications? Because I know for a couple of scenarios here, when we talk to a lot of our partners, they have 3, 4, maybe 5 people on QuickBooks Online Payroll. They have some like 3 or 4 on QuickBooks Desktop Payroll. They have maybe 3 or 4 on a couple of the competitors on the landscape, whether it be WagePoint, Knit, or Rise. And then they have like 4 or 5 with them with Payment Evolution. What I'm noticing though is that if you have 2 or 3 or 4 clients that are in different groups, then we're not streamlining that offering for yourself. So there might be some smart things that you can make happen for yourself by streamlining the type of cloud payroll application, which we'll talk a little bit further. So if we take in consideration what the average competitor is paying, that they're charging for their service, and we know what the pricing for the accounting software, for the payroll software is for accounting and bookkeepers here at Payment Evolution. Payment Evolution's operational costs on average for the 10 employee businesses is $42.50 per month. That includes direct deposit costs and automating the source deduction remittances. And we include T4s and T4As, RL1s, ROEs, and we also have an employee portal that allows you guys to have the employees of those clients to be able to access their pay stubs online from a secure portal that they can access at any point in time, and they can see their tax forms there. And there's a ton of other things that also come along with it, aside from super compliant across the country in all 10 provinces and territories, and much, much more. But if you take a look at the competitor's operational costs, it's on average $85 per month. Actually, the exact cost is more like $83.50. But you're seeing almost a 50%, almost 100% increase here in comparison, right? It's literally double the amount of money that people are doing. So, one of the things that we tell a lot of accounting professionals as we want them to become more profitable is, what if you just streamlined all your payroll offerings into one cloud payroll solution, i.e. Payment Evolution. Keep charging your clients the $85 minimum per month, for payroll, and then bring all your clients over to PE and have better margins. There's an easy way here for you guys to become really profitable. Of course, and people say, well, there might be a couple of options where we can do that, and other options where some clients are much larger and we need them to be on XYZ. That's fine. But if you're streamlining your process, you're going to be doing yourself quite a big favor. So let's dive deeper here. If the payroll cost versus the price for the customer, let's say if you say the cost of payroll with Payment Evolution is $40.50 versus, let's say, some of our actual, I would call it our high-performing partners, are on average charging about $100 a month for the service. The number of employees is 10. The time it takes to process payroll with Payment Evolution is only 5 minutes, as Kinga was mentioning before. And if we were to times that by 20 clients, you're looking at an average of about 100 minutes. Simple. 20 clients times 5 minutes each, it's 100 minutes. Think about your per hour rate. Let's say your per hour rate is $150. Let's say it just is $150 per hour. And you did 2 hours worth of work for all those 20 clients, you would have billed out $300. Well, on average with Payment Evolution, if you're taking the difference between what you're charging your client, obviously what you rebill them, and the operational cost it is, you're looking at about $57, times 20 clients. You're looking at an annual revenue per year that's being added here, an additional $13,000 plus. So if you were to consolidate all your payroll clients onto one platform and price payroll properly, which we're going to talk about actually as a solution, because I think Kinga, not that I think, I know Kinga mentioned a couple of things a little while ago in another couple of the webinars, is you can easily do a value billing approach. You can do still an hourly billing approach for some of the services that we provide. And then we can also do things like an a la carte approach for, charging of fees. So if you have a combination of those three type of pricing models, you can actually do a really great job of, one, making sure that you're not eating any extra costs or bank fees or errors that are happening from your client. And two, you can charge for the T4s and ROEs and things of that nature over and above what you're trying to, what you're charging for just for payroll. So this is really, really interesting stuff. Our recommendation here is that actually for 10 employees that we're seeing with a lot of our clients is that you're seeing people charge upwards to $200, per month for 10 employees. You can take a look at a lot of our partners out there, and we can give you a couple of ideas of who it is that does some of that. So you can take a look at their websites. But the great thing here is that if they're charging out, let's say $200 per month for 10 employee payroll, that works out to it comes out to 100. Like if it's $157 times 20 clients, that's $3,100 times 12 months. That's $37,000 in additional revenue per year. And people forget about this because you know why? Because they're trying to find the latest and greatest. And one of the things I talked with actually today with one of our great partners is that technology, although it's a great reason and a great factor to help you in your efficiency with your time and being able to be more profitable, it also is not the only factor. What are you doing with the tools that you're doing, and what are the processes that you got going on so you can make yourself more profitable, right? Again, the average, if your average per hour rate is, let's take half of that, $150 is $75, and you work on payroll for 2 hours, you're still coming out about $150 a pay run. That's $300 a month. Trust me, I think the $3,150 of revenue per month is a lot better deal than just the $300, per hour that you might be charging. Again, because you're going to come to an area of diminishing returns, right? You're going to come to a threshold where if you build per hour, you're not going to have a lot of time. So I know that people are making that shift now. It's really great stuff. It might be a great time to hone in and actually kind of tweak it a little bit so that you give yourself a chance to be really profitable, especially with a front runner tool and service like Payroll that allows you to be super consultative and super cost effective. Stop wasting your time and paying, for multiple different types of applications that are doing the same thing. Focus on one that's super cost effective for you, that gives you the most margins, and that can actually make you super profitable. Now, I'm willing to bet that for the average business out there, the average firm that's out there, people have about, 15 to 20, even upwards towards about 30 clients that need payroll. And they're all either not on a platform, like a cloud payroll option, or they're on various platforms. And again, all I'm saying is not to beat a dead horse here. If you consolidate the tool, use one for all your needs that has a lot of great stuff, like what? Like great customer service, like allows you to automate things like your remittances for your clients and allows you to take back your time. A lot of them that do, for example, direct deposits. And a lot of them that also, that'll allow you to be, have great world-class support and integrates with all the different accounting softwares, not just QuickBooks, online or desktop, not just Xero, but also Sage Accounting, FreshBooks, Cashew, and a bunch of others, right? This is important. And of course, you get the 3-day lead time, all within your capable, hands for you to be able to process and be able to talk to your client better. Remember that we also provide a bunch of things like training. So there's a lot of options for a lot of our clients. So in that support system there, you can have phone support, you can have email support, you can have forum support, you have self-help videos that are optional for you guys. And if you need it, we also have paid training for you, your staff, or maybe even your client. There's a lot of great stuff that we can provide for you. Just something that you need to realize that is you need to dig down deeper and talk about that with your service provider. We'd be glad to help you find out which is the better option. We're extremely transparent here. One of our core values is empathy. We really understand where you guys are coming from, and we do a lot of the things that we're talking about here because we really care about our accounting professionals, because we want you to succeed. And tell me about it. If you have 20 clients and you're charging properly and you're doing a great job of it all, don't get stuck doing menial work for just a menial amount of money. You can do this. You can be successful. You can be super, super, super streamlined and effective and profitable.
Should we just end the webinar there? Like, whoa. Whoa is the 4-letter word I could think of. I mean, need we say more, I have a bit more, but that's kind of really, Justin just got really passionate. You should have seen his arms just flailing, like his eyes closed for a bit there, and he just spoke the word. He spoke the word. So what is the solution? So there's a good chance that you have examples. Businesses have 20 clients, but only 5 to 10 on payroll. How do you get the rest of them on? Well, it starts internally. You guys have to figure out a process that works for you. We could kind of throw out ideas here and there constantly, but whatever works for your business, right? A lot of people go, I just don't want to deal with payroll. Well, maybe hire someone that does want to deal with payroll. There's that bookkeeper that maybe loves payroll, eats, breathes, sleeps payroll. There's people like that, by the way. And they work at Payment Evolution. Okay. Yeah, that could be a part-time employee, a staff member that you don't even realize how much they're bringing into your business. So that's just something to think about. Of course, streamlining onboarding when it comes to onboarding clients in general, not just onto payroll, but towards the business. So when it comes to the billing options, you don't have to be like, this amount is allotted to payroll, this amount is allotted to this, that. Give them the full package. Here's what it comes down to, but here's also what we need from you. And we offer payroll. Trust us, you want to use it with our business. That's kind of the Cole's Notes version of my passion on that topic. And of course, think about the future of your business. Dustin was we were just kind of talking about this webinar the other day. And something that never is really spoken about is kind of the end goal of your business. When you're ready to kind of let go of it and thinking about the sale of it, or, even grandfathering it down to someone, passing it on to maybe a family member, whatever it is, you want to make sure that that business is as valuable as possible and has the offerings that someone, a potential buyer, may look at, be like, whoa, this is a wholesome business. They have everything a client may need. This is great. Let's do this.
Going back to the internal stuff, one of the things that sometimes people forget, and there's a lot of statistics on this actually. I was recently doing a course on this, on the selling of your business. So if you were to sell your business or pass it on to a family member, whether it be you're grooming your son, your daughter, or a family member to take it over, that first transference, believe it or not, on average, there's a loss of 30% of revenue. Just in transference, maybe they don't have the same passion. Maybe clients leave, or because they, for example, they care about you and the relationship that you've built, and they don't want to be with anybody else. Or they themselves are moving along to greener pastures per se, whether it be business wise or retiring. And then the second time that hand gets passed down, or that business gets passed down, it can go as high as 65% of losing of your revenue, believe it or not. So, one of the things that I talk about is if you're really passionate about, leaving your legacy and you have someone that's following in your footsteps, we know a lot of clients, a lot of partners of ours who have their own firm and they're grooming their son or daughter to take it over. If you're really passionate about this, aside from setting up your family member for success, it'll be really, really great for them to be able to have a thriving business, like Kinga said. The other thing is that if you're looking to sell your business privately, then, being able to do a lot of things like payroll or monthly recurring revenue services out there really allow you to be able to increase that times and a half, like I said, of lifetime value that you could probably sell your business for currently with your current revenue it's 2.5 times with the lifetime value. You can actually increase it to 4 or 5 times. If you're lucky, where you're selling it to a publicly traded company for whatever reason, and this is also for your client business for you to be aware of. Depending if they're in the tech space, it can be like 30, 40 times, really kind of increasing their value exponentially. So, think about the tools that you're doing internally, how you're streamlining your onboarding of your clients, of your, of your staff, how they're being brought aboard and what services they're trying to do. Think back to the purpose that we talked about in our first initial slide. What's your purpose? Do you want to, help small businesses reach their goals by, making them fiscally responsible and financially, financially free? Whatever that your purpose may be, that's a very generic purpose, but it could be, helping the small business owner, or helping a niche business, right? Or helping yourself to reach a goal where you're able to leave a legacy for your staff, your employees, your family, yourself, whatever it may be, right? Remember to do those things. Be purposeful. Tie all of those little silly things that kind of get annoying and are time wasters to something bigger. Because as soon as you tie it to something bigger, those small little annoyances are not going to be a big deal. I'll give you an example. When I think about, oh, this is really annoying, I don't want to write this email, I hate writing this email because, I can just do a phone call. Yeah, I can do a phone call, but sometimes it's important for people to be able to get an email because people want things documented. And believe it or not, I'll think to myself, let's tie this to my mission. What's my purpose? What's my mission? Who am I doing this for? Oh, I'm doing this for my kids. Right? Provides livelihood, provides, a lifestyle for my kids, Mia and Austin, and that's their names. I'll do anything for those kids. So again, think about your purpose. Think about how you can easily streamline yourself, not only in how to bring on clients, but also what you're doing with the tools that you currently have. Again, we gave you an example of kind of the cloud payroll option where you can streamline to one software, i.e. Payment Evolution, and then be able to make yourself really profitable. But think about the future. We don't think about it many times because we're stuck in the past and we're just doing the daily grind. But if you think about the future, many times, if you think a couple steps ahead, you're actually going to put yourself in a scenario of becoming way more profitable, because it's going to be exciting about what you think is going to be happening in the future if you work towards it.
And if we really come down to it, it comes to kind of, I call it schooling the client. This does not promote violence, by the way. But just, they may think they're not ready for payroll. They have 2 employees. They do. They do have 2 employees. They need payroll. They need it done, and they need that reporting. Those employees need to get paid. They need T4s. They need to understand that there will forever be a need from this point forward, especially if they see growth in the future of their business. This will only help them in the end, because again, that audit comes sometimes and you don't expect it. So let's go back 3 years and try to find all that information. Oh no, it's somewhere in my Excel folder. Oh no, my computer crashed. It's in the cloud. Don't worry, it's within the system. Show them that they can't have control, because sometimes that's what it is. They just feel a loss of control, but you can give it to them. You can give them access to the payroll program. You can allow them to put in the hours. You can allow them to run the whole payroll if they want. The control is still there. They don't have to lose it. A lot of them are afraid of that because of money movement. It's still fully there. Keep those employees happy, keep the client happy, and provide a service that's second to none. And I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. I want you guys to know it starts with you guys. You have to want to take that step. You have to stop and look at the purpose of your business and go, all right, I'm ready to, maybe get rid of those payroll woes that I always have when I'm, thinking about whether or not I want to start with payroll. It all comes down to how you envision your business, where you envision your business, and letting go of that, no, not payroll. And of course, we're always here to help you. You can speak to myself or Dustin anytime. If, I know a lot of you guys are already clients or maybe have a client or 2 on Payment Evolution. If you're ready to grow and just don't know what to say and how to get those clients on board, we're here to help. Shoot us an email, give us a call. I'm at extension 207. Dustin's at extension 210. And yeah, we're here to help anytime. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them into the questions box. If you guys want to save them for later, if you guys want to let us know what your intentions are with your business or your purpose, send us an email with that. That'd be a great start, something that we can have, and then we can also discuss one-on-one with you guys. We'd be more than happy to. Other than that, thank you all for coming. Dustin, any final words?
Yeah, a couple final words. I think we had actually a question specifically. A person said, what were the 3 different billing models that you talked about just prior, because they remember only one. So aside from the hourly billing that many of us still do, there's of course the value billing or the value pricing approach that is available out there, where you do a monthly recurring fee for, let's say, the payroll service. There's the hourly that you bill at your hourly rate, and then there's also the a la carte option where, and let me go deeper into that. Many people say, oh, what do you mean a la carte? Well, I'll tell you what, it's not a matter of if your client's going to make a mistake. It's a matter of when. Okay. Don't mean to be doom and gloom with this. Many times when you're onboarding your client, maybe one of the employees mistakenly put a different number in their bank account information, and then there's a reject, or there's something like that happens. When that reject happens with any provider out there, there's going to be a bank fee that gets charged to the accounting professional or to that client. So be aware, a la carte are, if you remember to set the expectation with your client and say, hey, rushes or, bank fees or, any other fees that are kind of outside of the regular processing of payroll, like these are fees that will be rebilled back to you. And this is important for you to know, because we don't want you, the accounting solution, the accounting partner that has all your accounting acumen, all your payroll acumen, to eat a fee when it's not your fault, right? We already do a lot of that, and we should actually allow you to be able to rebill it back.
And that's generally payroll specific, but like overall with your business, a la carte could be like, okay, I provide 10 services. They want service 1, 5, 8, 9, and 10, right? So then you build a plan for them while they pick out which services they want you to provide. So I think that's a more overall approach, but that was more, Dustin's answer was a little more payroll specific to that, just to confirm.
Yeah. Someone also asked if they can actually see, I know that you're showing your screen, but maybe we can see, can you go to the internet? We can go to Quick Partners, what's it called, website, so you guys can actually see what it looks like when what they're charging. We talked about charging. The question is, what are the different levels of charging that you can do for bookkeeping? Sorry, not for bookkeeping, for payroll specifically. We can go to YorkshireEnterprises.com, or we can go to Bondstar Accounting Software, Accounting Services.com, which are some great examples of people, doing some great work, as well as providing payroll as a software. Payroll as a service to their clients, and actually getting a really great pricing. So I know that King is bringing up the actual page, and we're going to be able to see it. Perfect. I think she's just about to show it. Cool. It's like to show the screen. Yeah, no problem. And I have another question coming in that's saying, may I ask about the cost per month of PE and competitors calculated? Yeah, absolutely. So actually, it's one of the things that's really, really cool. I can actually send this to Kinga too. But let's take a look at what's happening right now on her screen. So here's one of our partners, and as you can see here, what you're noticing is that many times this is specifically